So, I just see it as I just see now for me, and it's entirely selfish because I'm at the end of a journey, and so for me now it's rainy day activities. It's making and enjoying being able to work every day. I find a privilege, and so it goes on. I'll probably stop there.
Yeah. I think with both the works, for me personally, it's hard to translate often from the digital version of it to the real version. But what came across in both of those was this kind of like meticulous chaos almost. It's like there is a method in the madness almost of, you can see that the configuration, the grid is there, but within that grid, within that system, there is these moments of chaos or moments of gesture that really come through. So I think that comes to it, and in the decision-making process for your work. But also, I'm really interested in this idea of never-ending work. So do you see these works as like a pause moment, a configuration of, okay, any random configuration can happen, but this is the pause moment, and it can have time to breathe, and then you move on? Do you see that like an animation of the work in some way?
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting to look in the box of images that's what's made. At the time, a relationship of, and they are very. I see them very much as sort of individual statements that come together to make some sort of coherency. And one looks at what one has decided and can't understand why on earth one came to that set of decisions, and so breaks them up and starts again. And I think that's, for me that's fine. Yeah. It's what one has to do.
And do you feel the battle that you have to, I'm sure most artists will definitely sympathise or empathise with that feeling of the exhibiting of the work almost being a different battle in itself, just getting the work out there. And you said that you have like this internal conflict of whether your work should be exhibited. I'm interested in that thought behind one, first of all, getting the work out there is so important, and I understand how difficult that is. But I'm interested in working without an exhibition in mind. As a curator, for me, I have an endpoint of the work on display. But as an artist, to almost hold that back, I'm interested in if you could expand on that thought process, please, if that's okay.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one, because again, it's sort of conditioned by where I am, and where I've been, and what the rationale for making the work is. As I said earlier, that I've always made things. I've always creative output has always been something that has been just a natural process for me, and there's no imperative other than to make the work now, and that for me is the motivation, is the enjoyment, is the challenge. To then take it to the point of putting one's work up into a public forum, the social media issues and so on. I think I'm just lazy, really. I just don't see the need. Don't see.
I wouldn't say that would be lazy. I think that's a different element of a practice, but the work ethic is definitely close to it.
But things might change. Things might change. Probably there's an issue of confidence in what one's doing, and whether or not it's something that it's just going to be interesting for people. the engagement is very personal. So it's a maybe it's just fear. Maybe I don't know.
But making is such an intimate internal thing as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
yeah.
there is a vulnerability in sharing it.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. I'm very happy to put work up on the wall, but it's not really an imperative at all. If people hadn't asked me to invited me to present work, then I probably wouldn't. And life would go on, and it would be fine. The studio's still there, and I can go to work every day, and that's perfect.
Yeah.